Hi guys, welcome to Mains and Mayhem. Today we have Madison here. She goes by Maddie with a lot of people, so she may introduce herself as Madison or Maddie. But she's been with Savannah Ray Beauty for, I'm going to say, what, 6 months?
Yeah, something about that.
About that? Yeah. Originally, Maddie was a salon owner herself out of state and transitioned back into working behind the chair in a salon without all that stress. How did you find that transition?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be really hard at first, but I actually kind of like it because for so long I was focused on other people's careers and kind of put myself on the back burner, especially with like social media, things like that, like building the salon Instagram, keep your mind on the back burner. So it was nice because I have goals in my, career that I want to do, but it was hard, being able to achieve those while doing that, what I mean? So I feel like now I can work towards that.
Totally, because the ownership is like a job that just never bloody ends.
No,
so.
never ends.
I'm in that spot right now, so I totally get it. And then, so how long have you been living here then? Because your salon was in
Georgia.
And then you moved here
in June. So not very long.
Okay. Yeah.
So we lived in Georgia for almost 8 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I owned it for 6 years. Bought it from my previous owner, and then, like I said, got orders here.
Yeah.
So now we're here.
Yeah. Do you miss Georgia?
Okay, that's a tricky question. I like the location here. It's a great place to live. I think that what I miss is the people. We had a bunch of friends there. So moving somewhere, you gotta get new friends, find new things to do. I think that if I could have the people in Georgia here, I think that'd be different.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. Not everyone will probably be from here who's listening to this, but we're in a really small, tiny little town, Destin, and when I moved here as well, it was a huge transition because it's difficult to make friends in a small town when everybody already has their tiny little cliques and you're the outsider just trying to be like, do you like me? Do you know how do I become your friend? And so it does take a hot second.
And another thing is it's so weird because you have people that live here, so locals, then you have people that are on vacation, and then so especially in the summertime, so it's I don't know. Destin seems big, so I always thought Destin was big, and it's really
so small.
Not. Yeah.
It's so small. I think the population is 13,000 or something, which is just ridiculous. It's so tiny, but it feels big because there's always people in and out, and that can read confusing.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Yeah. When you were in Georgia, you had a dream car that you wanted so badly.
Oh yeah. All right. So ever since I knew eventually I would sell the salon, right? I'm like, we're not going to be here forever. My husband's military. I was like, we're going to get orders sooner or later. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. And I told my husband, I was like, I want this ultimate mom car. And he was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, it's a Mazda CX-9. It's a carbon edition, the red interior, the black. I was like, this is ultimate mom car. Could you imagine car seats in here? He was like, yeah, great. So I was like, okay, when we sell the salon, I'm getting one. And he was like, okay, whatever. So we went and picked his dad up from the airport, and I was like, let's just stop by Mazda. Let's just
check it out.
Yeah. Well, they gave me a great deal that I couldn't pass up. So I'm like, okay, bringing home the new carbon edition, right? Loved it. Obviously worked very hard for it. Still owned the salon, so that was, great. Yeah, and then 6 months later, it got stolen right out of my driveway.
Georgia.
Yeah. And I lived in this little town. I'm talking, it had a Dollar General. Didn't even have a stoplight. It was just a 4-way stop. There's a police station probably as big as this room.
Oh my gosh.
And there's one deputy on duty at all times. Yeah.
So, see a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very traumatizing. And some people are like, why are you being dramatic? It was just your car.
You're like, no, because I got a good deal on that and it's brand new and I want it in my driveway because it's my car.
And especially when you work hard for something and then someone can and it was kind of my fault,
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Go ahead, explain.
We lived there for so long. Like this, we probably lived there like 6 years now. And
Yeah.
again, little tiny cute little neighborhood. Everybody knew everybody, mostly military, older people, whatever. And we would normally leave the front door unlocked, the back door, like during the day. That was just like, again, it's not normal now, but it was normal then because nobody was like, everybody did it, you know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, that night
But your keys were where?
in my purse,
Which was where?
in the car.
Okay. Perfect.
So, and to be fair, my husband, his truck too, his truck keys got stolen that night. But yeah, it was a whole mess. So these people had my car keys, a garage door opener to my house.
Did you know who they were when they finally caught them? Did you actually know them?
No, it was a gang.
It was a what?
A gang.
Like a
Apparently.
like a drug gang? Like a I'm gonna kill you in the dark alley gang?
If
Like what
anybody's
kind of
listening
gang?
to this and you're from Albany, Georgia, y'all know how hard it is out in those streets, okay? Albany is a place you do not want to stay, you don't want to go. Like the cops are scared to be there.
Okay.
So, back to the story. With these new cars, you got all this new technology. So you can track the car,
Okay.
but it's not live. So it's like if I turn it off here, it'll ping it. But then when I turn it on and drive it, it won't ping until I stop and turn it off.
Okay, I got it. Yes.
So, of course, it like pinged to where it was, but it wasn't there because, you know, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
because
that was-
it's in motion, so you have to wait until
Yeah.
they stop. Okay.
Yeah, so that's, I kind of like tracked it to Albany. And then pretty much I got like, two of my friends. It was like 8 in the morning. My husband's like, well, I'm going to go to work. And I'm like, well, I ain't going to work. Like,
I need my car back.
yeah, that, and we need to protect this place. Like, these people are coming back.
Where are the guns?
Yeah, for real. For real. And he's like, oh, I want to get, well, this man, he comes out in his uniform, coffee. He's like, yeah, you ready? I said, for what? He goes, I'll drop you off at work. I said, no.
That's not happening.
No, I'll call him. No. And he was like, well, I gotta go. I said, your truck keys got stolen. And he said,
Yeah.
well, I have an extra set. No, don't tell him that. I would just say, hey, my truck keys got stolen, I'm not coming in today.
Also, you're gonna leave me here alone?
Yeah,
to
that.
the homestead?
Yeah.
With my muscles?
I was like,
no.
someone has to protect the compound. Like, these
Yeah.
people are coming back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, so me and my two friends went to Albany, tracked it down,
Heck yeah.
and didn't find it, and then it was going off. Pretty much people were like, oh yeah, there's chop shops around here. And I was like, what?
For a brand new Mazda? I
Yeah,
don't know
like-
if parts are in big need right now.
Especially like newer cars. I don't think that's a thing.
No, that's what I mean. Like normally they'll be like, I don't know anything about chop shops, but I would assume they need more of the older car parts. Wouldn't they need older car parts to fix the old cars?
Apparently in Albany, they either do chop
Yeah.
shops or they, what did he say? Oh, they drift them.
Oh, I know what drifting is.
So I was like, Too Fast, Too Furious drifting?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do around
Yeah.
here? He's
Until
like,
they crash it and then they walk away, I think. Or they roll it into a river. That's what the movies show.
I asked the guy, I was like, where do we be drifting at around here? Because I'll go up there.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you see the drifters?
he was just like, oh, I don't know. That's what it sounds like, though. No worry in the world. He's just like,
cop?
yeah,
Just
happens all the time.
Oh well.
People on
See?
dispatch are like, damn, this Mazda Maddie girl, I hate her. It's her again calling.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so then you found your car.
No. So I went to the Albany place. It was like a dead end,
Okay.
not a good place to be. And then I started getting notifications. It was like malfunction. I mean, one after another. I was like, oh my God, it's at a chop shop. Like, they're destroying it. So I called dispatch and I'm like, hey, Maddie with the Mazda again. And they're like, so they were like, I was like, have you had any wrecks, like, reported? Because either they wrecked it or they were taking parts. She's like, no. I'm like, okay. And I was explaining, and then the guy was like, the guy that I was like, I guess connected with that was working my case, but he wasn't really working it. He was like, yeah, it sounds like they're drifting. I don't know. Just like, I was like, okay.
I don't think drifting a car would make it scream malfunction. Would it?
Apparently, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so keep going.
So at this point, I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do. I need to go back to little old Ray City. Shout out to Ray City, Georgia. So we go back, and really there was nothing to do after this. Like, we did find the car that they brought with them. So it looks like they brought a car with people.
Okay.
Like their getaway car. So we had to show the police the getaway car.
Okay.
So, yeah, we had to show...
What was the getaway car?
It was like some little, was it like a Scion? And it had like temporary tags on it from Albany, and it had like Swisher wraps in the front, and like, it was like, yeah, it was real beat up. It was the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great getaway car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we had to, like, we literally had to go and be like, hey, there's a getaway car 2 miles from
You
here.
want to go and check that
And they're
out?
like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. So we like followed them there, like, doing your job for you. They're like, oh, thank you for that. I'm like, no problem.
On the job.
Yeah.
Money for hire.
Yeah. So anyway, we had to like, my poor husband, he was like, you know, his truck was still there obviously, and they had the keys. He was like,
He had a spare set.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a big diesel, so he was like, I'm gonna back it up on the side of the house, and you go lay in bed and let me start it and see if you can hear it. I was like, okay.
Why?
He's like, if we go to bed tonight, like, because I kept saying they're coming back. Like, why would,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
okay. So he wanted to be like,
So-
can I fall asleep successfully, but then be woken up?
Yeah, no, well, he sleeps through hurricane, so.
Okay. That's
And so
still-
I'm in there, and he comes back, did you hear it? I was like,
No.
did not. No.
No.
Someone's got to stay up tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that night, I like obviously couldn't sleep. There's like pictures of them getting gas at a gas station earlier. So it sounds really traumatic, but every time I close my eyes, I could just see that. Like I was just so pissed and livid, you know? And I got up and I'm like, let me track it again. Let me see what's happening. And it did move location. So I was like, oh, this is it. And it was like shut off at 102 and it was 103. So I'm like, oh, it just shut off. You know?
Okay.
So I called dispatch. I'm like, hey, it's Maddie again. You know,
With the Mazda.
yeah, with the Mazda. I was like, I gave him the address and I was like, it just shut off there. You know, like, you were just at that address earlier. I said, no, you're not understanding.
They just now.
Yeah, and I explained to her, she's like, okay, I guess I'll send somebody out. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there waiting. And then I get another call. And this guy was like, hey, so-and-so, whatever. We found your car. I was like, oh, awesome. Like, how's it look? He's like, I mean, it's a little hot to touch. And I was like, no.
What does that mean?
Of course, there was like 112 malfunctions happening. I'm sure it is hot to touch. He's like, but other than that, I mean, they smoked in it and stuff, but you know, it's fine. And I was like, okay, whatever. So then I go in there and tell my husband, I'm like, oh my God, they found it, you found it. You know, like I said, he can sleep through a hurricane. He's like, found what? What car? And I'm like, just go back to bed.
Yeah.
Just,
no.
no,
I got
it's
it.
fine.
I got it.
Yeah. This was 4th of July weekend, so insurance is like, well, we can go get it like next Tuesday and take it to the master. Like the process was very, you know.
Delayed.
Yeah, because of the holiday. So
Okay.
we went and got it, drove it to the dealership, they kept it, just did some electrical stuff. Like they just tried to take some stuff off, all that craziness. And then the best part is, so I picked it up like probably like a month and a half later. Told the guy at the dealership, I was like, hey, are you gonna clean it for me?
Yeah.
Being such a like brat. And he was
Yeah.
like, no. And I was like, listen, I'm trying really hard to like this car again. And if I get in it the way it looked, I'm gonna be really mad. I was like, so he was like, okay, I think someone down the street that I was like, I'll pay for it. Like, you know, whatever.
Just like help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get in it, it was like decent. So whenever I drive home and I go to hook up my Bluetooth, these people connected their Bluetooth
Why?
to my car and they were just jamming along, doing the thing. So like their names were like on the Bluetooth.
What the heck?
Like if you're gonna 101 of stealing cars,
Don't do
connect
that.
your Bluetooth.
Okay, so then did the cops from that figure out who did it?
So here goes Maddie again, investigation Maddie. Okay, I go in there and I was like, I took a picture. I'm like, and I sit. So the sheriff, whatever you want to call him, he was like, here's my number, and I sent it. I was like, hey, I just went to hook up my Bluetooth. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, okay. And then down the street, so it was like a mass neighborhood
Yeah.
robbery. So down the street, my home guy was like, yeah, this girl just got arrested for it apparently, in the county. So I looked up the county and found the girl, the only girl arrested for still in cars.
Yeah.
Went to her Facebook, went to her friends, and the name on the Bluetooth she's friends with. Because it was a gang, like, whatever it is, like...
Initiation or whatever? Like
so I had her name, and then his name, yeah. And his profile picture was of him in jail on the phone. Oh. So, like, it's fitting, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I still to this day, I don't even know. I think...
Like, they're like, don't do that again.
Yeah, I don't even know, really.
Don't connect your Bluetooth or else.
I don't even think anybody really got in trouble for it. I don't know. It was a whole thing.
Oh, my gosh. So it's the same bloody car. You didn't even get a replacement.
I didn't. So, you know.
Do you love it again yet?
I mean, I feel like we're trauma bonded. You know, it's everything.
You're getting there.
Yeah, it's everything I wanted
You're
in a car.
working through it.
Yeah, and she hasn't like failed me or anything. Like she's been good. And
yeah,
a couple little troubles, but nothing to like, you know. My dad's like, if my car was ever stolen, I'd never take it back. And I'm like, okay, I see that.
I would.
You don't know what they did to. I mean, I get it, but then again, it's like,
what are you gonna do? Forfeit them? Like, you know,
that's what I said.
I'm not gonna take a financial hit.
Apparently, you can tell your insurance company like, oh, I just don't want it back. I'm like, well, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
You can't just like total it out for me, like.
How do you? You can do that?
I tried my hardest. I was like, I don't want to. And she was like, well, you can get it back and sell it. That's what she told me. And I was like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but then, I mean, I would assume you would take a financial hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know what else is weird? So, your insurance company, they record you telling the story about how your car got stolen.
To make sure everything lines up.
I don't know. She was like, okay. And she called me. She's like, when I made a claim. She was like, okay, just tell the story. And by the way, you're being recorded. Just for, and I was like,
I feel like that's to prevent fraud, because I think a lot of people with car they do some fraudulent, something like I pretend I got it stolen and I drove it into the ocean and then I get it comped. I think it's like a fraud thing, so they want to make sure that your story doesn't change.
I guess I was like, it kind of made me nervous. I was like, oh my god, let me not like.
You're like, okay, wait.
Yeah. Is that really what happened?
Let me double check my story. That's how I feel like every single time I go to the airport and then they're like, do you have any weapons on you? I don't have any weapons on me. But every single time I'm like, what if I accidentally have a weapon on me and I forgot that suddenly I do pack? No, Savannah, you don't. You don't carry a gun. You don't have a weapon on you. But every single time I sweat and I'm like, oh no. What if I have a weapon on me? It would be the same.
That one time was a big ass nightmare.
That one time. The one time that I forgot that I have a secret hidden gun in my back pocket. Oh sorry. Forgot. Every time. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that you and your car are learning to love each other again.
She's cute. You know, she's been through a lot. You know, I kind of feel bad for her. She's been through a lot.
I mean, she was used and abused for a second.
She was just at her safe home and all of a sudden just... driving down with the gang and
it's like, I did not choose this.
Oh, and the best part, I have this change, I don't know if normal people do this, but I have a change jar in my car. And if you fill it up, it's $60, right?
Okay.
So I was like, it was almost filled up. And I was like, oh yeah, $60, you know? They stole that. They stole the change jar and then my charger.
$60.
And a charger.
And a charger.
All that. But don't worry. My change jar now, it's almost full, so...
$60?
$60.
Get it. Funny. Well, this is Maddie. You should come see her and let her do your hair, because she's great, and she has fun stories. So
I can keep you entertained the whole time.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and listening to this next episode of Mayhem, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.